Coming up on SBU TV, a fairy tale where the pumpkin has a starring role, and a homegrown sports writer is getting his story told. Hello and welcome to SBU TV. I'm Nick Konotopskyj.
And I'm Jasmine Foster. If you're falling for pumpkins, we have good news. Jackie Roberts reports.
Just beyond Ellicotville, you'll stumble upon a place so magical the pumpkins don't turn into carriages, but something even better. By even better, I mean 20 years of business. Despite being in one of the poorest counties in New York, the family-owned company carved out all the odds against it and threw them away like pulp. The man introduced to me as the mayor of Pumpkinville shared his secrets to success.
We've expanded into a much broader area. We're far more entertainment than retail at this point. And families come here every year to look at these gorgeous hills in this valley.
This might look like a lot of pumpkins to you, but until you've walked through the entrance of Pumpkinville, you haven't seen anything.
I was living in corporate America and wanting to do something different. And I was a wannabe farmer. Probably still am a wannabe farmer, but we farm 200 acres here, about 30 acres of pumpkins.
After 20 years, you'd think the farm life would be a breeze to the Pawlowski family. But knowledge and hard work are the real fairy godmother needed to make the most out of the pumpkins.
We work tirelessly to make this exactly what it is. I'm on the north side of 60, and I still go to school for a week every year to learn how to run a business like this.
In addition to staying informed, Pumpkinville serves as an example to other companies to plan ahead.
We right now have got next year's expansions already planned. We did those last year.
Without fairy dust or wands, Mr. Pawlowski accredited this dream-come-true company to his family and loyal customer.
It's what our family is. It's who we are.
With SBU TV, I'm Jackie Roberts.
Pumpkinville offers attractions this season like jumping pillows, hay rides, and homemade apple cider.
Eating meals at the Francis Dining Hall is something many students enjoy, but nowadays, that is one of the only things Francis is used for. Here's more on this story. Fall of 2015 marks as the first semester that students at St. Bonaventure are not living in Francis Hall. The school's decrease in enrollment was a major reason why students aren't living in Francis. The executive director for residential living, Nichole Gonzalez, weighed in on this issue.
We've had fewer and fewer students living in Francis Hall, choosing to live in Francis Hall, and then then we end up placing students there in the summertime, whether they transfer in or readmit late or something along those lines, or students that just kind of didn't go through the room selection process and realized that they needed a place. But then as we go throughout the year and we lose people in Dev or Shay or whatever, we're recognizing that our spaces that are open on campus are greater than the students living in Francis.
Enrollment at St. Bonaventure has been going down for the last decade. In the last 5 years alone, it has dropped 9.3%. In order to save the university some money, something had to be done.
Knowing that that was the least desirable location, and given the fact that our enrollment currently does not support the need for Francis Hall, currently, that was a major deciding factor, one of them.
Enrollment is an issue that has affected this entire campus. Last spring, a decision was reached to stop all classes on 3rd Plasman to conserve space. Francis Hall first began as Christ the King Seminary in 1951. The seminary then relocated to East Aurora in 1974, which is when Francis became a dormitory for university students. Francis will probably remain vacant for the next couple of years, but if enrollment improves, there is a chance of students once again living there. With SBU TV, I'm Nick Konotopskyj. For more information about residential life on campus, visit www.sbu.edu.
A Bonner journalism professor accomplished something that would make any history professor tremble with jealousy. Ryan McDonough has more.
Many professors use textbooks for their courses, but how many of them actually appear in their books? A story regarding Paul Wieland, the former public relations director for the Buffalo Sabres and current St. Bonaventure journalism professor, has been selected to be part of the Best American Sports Writing of 2015 textbook.
I used that book as a textbook for my summer online sports writing course. So it's really weird. Like, I'm going to be looking at a book next summer, and the students are that take the course, and in there will be a story about me. I certainly can't assign that story for a read.
The story by Alan Siegel gives an inside look at how Wieland and the Buffalo Sabres staff drafted a fictional player named Taro Tuchimoto in the 1974 NHL draft. Tuchimoto remains a fan favorite to this day.
Would I buy one? I invented him. I'm not paying for his name.
Whether he would don the jersey or not, there's no question the 11th round pick from the 1974 draft was a real slap shot. For SBU TV, I'm Ryan McDonough.
Wieland praised Siegel's work and encourages all who are interested to view the full story at sportsonearth.com or pick up a copy of Best American Sports Writing of 2015 when available.
Would you ever work on a farm? What if it involved working with alpacas? Dakota Ward reports.
Goats, birds, a mule, and a llama. You might think this place is old McDonald's farm, but would you believe me if I told you that they have alpacas? High Haven Farm is a place where alpacas are raised with tender, loving care. Debby Carlson-Filer has been running the farm on the hill above Cuba Lake since 2001.
It came to me in my head, this is before the end of the year, I'm going to have an alpaca. And that's how this all started. I started researching, I started visiting farms, and started out with a couple, and then we got a couple more, and now we've got 25 right now.
This weekend is National Alpaca Days, where people can visit alpacas like Tiger Lily and Buttercup. This is a great place for young families of all ages to come and hang out with all of these farm animals.
We'll be open if people want to come and shop in the store, or they can come up and we'll show them the animals. I can put them in a pen and they can touch them and give them any information they'd like on alpacas.
The farm will be open this weekend, along with the store. For more information, you can visit www.enchantedmountains.com. For SBU TV, I'm Dakota Ward.
Make sure to check your local listing and see if you can participate in National Alpaca Farm Days.
The St. Bonaventure University Disability Committee sponsored a week-long student stress relief campaign. Brittany Slomba reports.
The program is called SOAR, short for Stressed, Overwhelmed, Anxious, and Relief, which is what every student feels at some point. I asked these stressed out college students just how they deal with the stress of everyday life while they receive a massage from the chairs in the Swan Atrium.
Sometimes I do healthy things like run or take naps, but then other times I just eat a lot of junk food.
I like to de-stress by taking advantage of different opportunities by the university, like this wonderful massage chair in Swan.
Studying nonstop all night until I know what I'm doing, and then I can not stress about it because I understand the material. That like the best music to de-stress to is like classical music.
The university provided students with healthy smoothies, massage chairs, candlelight yoga, and other activities that help de-stress the stressed out college student.
The students took full advantage of the stress-free week and are hoping for the addition of saunas to the campus next year.
History was made at the 67th Emmy Awards on Sunday. Here's Jasmine Foster with more.
And the Emmy goes to Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder.
Viola Davis made history on Sunday when she became the first African-American woman to win an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series.
Tell you something. The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity.
Critics took to social media to comment on Davis's speech. St. Bonaventure student Shernice Miller had this to say.
Back to the question of how many African Americans are auditioning for those roles. The number is very few, so you don't see as many African Americans on stage or on TV.
Not win an Emmy for roles that are simply not there.
General Hospital's Nancy Lee Grahn took to Twitter to talk about how Viola Davis is an amazing actress, but she never had to deal with discrimination. She later apologized via Twitter.
Congratulations. Why shouldn't she address race if you're all pinpointing her right now and clapping your hands because of her race?
For SBU TV, I'm Jasmine Foster.
For more information on the 67th Emmys, check out www.emmys.com.
We've heard the rumors around campus about enrollment being down, But now Sammy Arena has the numbers to prove it.
At St. Bonaventure University, we believe in the goodness of every person.
And in every person's ability to do extraordinary things.
St. Bonaventure University has been praised for its Franciscan values, quality education, and school pride. But why with all this praise has enrollment taking a staggering hit? This year's freshman class has only 389 students. Since 2007, freshman enrollment has declined by 26%. With this deficit, the university has lost over $14 million. The Jandoli School of Journalism and Mass Communications class sizes have dropped 60% since 2007. The School of Education has dropped 30%, and the School of Liberal Arts has dropped nearly 50%. Luckily, the business school has had steady enrollment, probably in part to the new business center. But the question now is, what will SBU do to stop the drop? Looks like we can't pick on freshmen anymore, or we may have none left, Nick.
We wouldn't want that, would we? One of sports' finest writers is based right here in Olean. Natalie Kucko has the story.
Sports writing is Chuck Pollock's passion. For over 40 years, the Olean Times Herald columnist has stood the test of time.
The sense of competition among newspapers is different. We really do tend to work together because we're depending on each other to get stories that are breaking.
In the fast-moving landscape of digital media, Chuck Pollock is a throwback to simpler times in journalism, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
The last thing I want to do is tweet about a game. People are expecting you to report on the game, and there's no way your concentration isn't interrupted by sending out tweets.
After covering the Buffalo Bills for decades, Pollock reflects on the changes he's faced as a writer.
A game can end, and literally, if your deadline is right, you can finish a story, and within 10 minutes, that story can be out on a page, rolling on the press. 10 minutes. That's absolutely 180 degrees away from what happened when I began the business. There's something about having an actual newspaper in your hand and being able to read it. But I'm not sure as time goes on how we quantify that, because we're such an electronically oriented society. But for somebody like me, I would lament that passing, because that's what I grew up with.
For SBU TV, I'm Natalie Kucko.
For more of Pollock's stories, go to oleantimesherald.com. That's all for us here at SBU TV. I'm Nick Konotopskyj.
And I'm Jasmine Foster. Thanks for watching.